In today's video, I'm going to show you a really easy way of solving your charging system headache, and that's by having one of these. Hey guys, you probably come across our channel because you have a first-gen Dodge just like this, and you're running into some serious problems with your speedometer, your charging system, overdrive, air conditioning, what else? Preheats. Yeah, you need that if you're living in an area like we do here in Canada, where we get snow every day, even in the summertime, and you can't get your truck started. A number of years ago, our speedometer went. At least that's what we thought. So we changed out the speed sensor in the transmission. Same problem, nothing, no reading on it. So we went back, changed it out again. Nothing again. I said, what's going on? So for a period of time, we just drove around while looking at that line flashing by as we're driving, just to gauge the speed a bit. In the meantime, we were talking to some people and they told us that this truck had a PCM in it, a computer, a black box. Go figure. Crazy. Who would have thought? It's a diesel. All you need is a cable to hold the fuel open and just go, right? No, not exactly. This is a 93 Dodge, and the first-gen Dodges had a computer down in the front wheel well. Well, for whatever reason, moisture got into it and it died. And when that goes, you lose a whole load of stuff that makes this thing undrivable. We called the dealerships, called up different places. They had reman units available, but as you all know, those reman units, they just don't hold up. After some time, one thing or another will go. You can't trust them. It was at that point that we decided to chop this computer out and go old school. Hardwire everything. Since this was done 8 years ago, I can't show you the process of actually doing it, but I'm going to crawl around the truck and do my best to show you the different areas and how we tackled it. We didn't want to open up all the wiring harnesses, but we did some wire tracing at different locations. When the decision was made to pull out the computer, we simply unplugged the connector, pulled the wires out of the connector that were related to the overdrive, speedometer, charging system, just to make sure that they were dead. And we didn't touch any other wiring anywhere else. And when it comes to the charging system on these trucks, as long as you have the fuel solenoid open, you can have it on a cable, this thing will stay running. Once you get it going, you don't need to keep the battery charged to keep it running. It'll stay running as long as the fuel is going to it. Once you get it started, that's it. For turn signals, brakes, you can just stick your arm out the window and just let people know what you're doing. I noticed with a lot of new cars, turn signals, brake lights, they're optional. But with these old trucks, they're a standard item, and it's kind of nice to have them working. I'm not going to explain how the charging system worked in these trucks. All you have to know is if the computer works, it looks to see if the engine is running, and then it'll energize the alternator and charge the battery. But if your computer goes, well, none of that really matters. I'm going to show you a really easy way of solving your charging system headache, and that's by having one of these. Yeah, I carry a spare in my back pocket. It's a firewall mounted voltage regulator. They're invaluable. I'll put the part number in the description down below. You mount it anywhere onto some sheet metal under your hood, hook up 2 wires, the chassis grounds it through a screw, and you're up and running again. These usually come with a schematic in the box. As long as you hook up these 2 prongs the right way, you're all set. I'll show you how we hook it up under the hood. There's our voltage regulator mounted to the inner fender. It's the best place for it based on the length of wires. You got the 3 relays. You've probably seen these before. That one over there, the far one, closest to the firewall, is your air conditioning. That's your starter circuit. And this one here is your automatic shutdown relay. That's what tells the computer that the engine is running or not running. And that's what you want to tap into. These 3 relays are interchangeable, so you can unplug one, plug into the other to test if one is bad. But in this case, it doesn't matter. You see a wire that's pulled out of here. There's a blue-yellow wire. I used to plug in to that spade area right there. That's what the computer would ground to energize this relay. Well, I've taken it out, put in a brown wire, run that brown to that screw, and ground it to the chassis. So the ground is now permanent. And we have the red, which is hot. We have green-orange, that's your ignition. So when the ignition key is off, this is off. And nothing is being charged. Well, obviously because the engine's not running either. And on our voltage regulator, we have 2 prongs, one on the front, one on the back. The one on the front is a solid green. It's like a light green color. And the one on the back is a green-orange. And you have to make sure that these 2 wires are in the proper order. There is a schematic telling you which one is which in the box, but I'm going to show you. But in terms of tying into the truck, you have to make sure that you're using those 2 wires. If you come into this area here, I've pulled my harnesses apart a little bit to show you guys. You have that light green solid wire here that goes to the field windings on the alternator, and then the green-orange one there, which is, let's see here now, this one here, that goes to your ignition source. Now you can see here, I've pulled it out of the plug for the computer, so just left it dangle there. It allows me to easily identify it in the dark on the side of the road if I ever get stuck. So there we go. That's it. So as long as you have the voltage regulator tied into those 2 wires in that order, the charging system will work. And it can all be done from this location here. You don't have to crawl around anywhere or deal with anything else in the engine compartment. All that wiring through there is factory. So once you have the voltage regulator installed on your firewall, hooked up correctly, make sure you don't hook it up backwards because it will burn it out. The field winding and the ignition source need to be in those correct spots for it to work correctly. Then everything else in the truck, in terms of the gauges for the charging, will actually work too. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any comments or questions, put them down below. In the next video, we're going to show you how to hardwire the AC. Take care, guys. Please like, subscribe, and share this channel with anybody you know who owns a Dodge truck of this generation. It might help them out with their problems too. Thanks a lot.